Wait a minute, I'm pretty sure that there was a way to get from that corridor right into the tunnel that leads to the teleport room. Could this be where the two of them are actually headed? I guess there's only one way to find out. I begin heading towards the tunnel that leads directly to the teleporter room at a rapid pace. If I hurry up, I should be able to catch up to them. The tunnel may take a more direct route towards the teleporter than the one they took, so the distance is much shorter. I rush through the door leading into the corridor, then head straight for the teleporter without looking back. It's fine. If they really went this way, they can't be much further ahead. I should be seeing them any minute now. My prediction turned out to be true, as I soon catch a glimpse of Kate's green cloak in the distance, and then I slow down my pace so I can follow her and Melinda without being noticed. Unfortunately, my plan gets shot to pieces almost immediately when Melinda suddenly stops walking and calls out to me in a loud voice. "Barry, what are you doing?" Melinda says as her voice echoes throughout the tunnel. When I hear her panic, I instantly try to hide in one of the side tunnels, but it doesn't take me long to realize that this is exactly one of my brightest ideas. "Barry, do you realize that I could sense your approaches from the first moment you entered this corridor, right?" Melinda says. "How could you possibly think, even for a second, that trying to sneak up on us would be a good idea?" "Look, I'll admit that this wasn't really one of my best plans," I say as I step back into the main tunnel, start getting closer to them. "But still, I didn't expect to actually run into you two here. Where are you going? Where are you going? Where does it look like we're going?" Melinda says, "Really, Barry, if you were smart enough to find us, it wouldn't be that hard to figure out where we are trying to do, what we are trying to do." "Yes, but why?" As I say, I finally reach them. "If you wanted to have a talk with the overseer, where the king of the underground's men have had a chance to do it, then why go by yourself? Why didn't you try to at least talk to us without any of this?" "Isn't obvious?" Melinda says. "It's because Kate didn't want to be a bother to you. She already feels responsible for having single-handedly ruined your alliance with the king of underground. She didn't want to put even more pressure on you by saying that she was planning to meet the overseer by herself, and besides, who would she have asked for? You don't have your stat device. Layla has only been reunited with the long-lost father. Flower and Iluna are still fighting. Darren is busy with curing the plague. Hardwick has been gloomy all day. You should know by now that Kate isn't the type to ask anyone for help if you think she might be inconveniencing them. It doesn't seem to me like she had a problem inconveniencing you, though," I say. "Of course not," Melinda says with a proud look on her face. When you're good enough of a friend with someone, you no longer need to worry about inconveniencing that person when you're asking for help. After all, isn't that what friends are all about? Being able to inconvenience each other without having to worry that you'll end up being hated for it." "You know, Melinda," Kate says, "when you told me earlier that I should leave all the talking to you because you knew how to deal with Barry, this isn't exactly what I had in mind." "It isn't?" Melinda asks, looking genuinely surprised. "Why not?" "You know why," Kate says. "I thought you were going to convince him to go back to the waiting room, not tell him all of our plans." "Don't be like that, I see," Melinda says. "You know full well that what you really wanted was for him to come with us." "No, I didn't," Kate says. "Of course you did," Melinda says. "If you really wanted him to not come with us, we could have easily hidden in one of the side tunnels back when I first detected him, he would have never found us, but you never even suggested that we do such a thing. Now, why is that, I wonder?" "I just didn't think about it, that's all," Kate says in a hesitant tone. "Oh," Melinda says with a smug smile on her face. "Is that why you kept turning your head towards every side tunnel that we passed since I told you that Barry was following us? Because you weren't thinking about it." "I told you that Barry was following us because you weren't thinking about it." "Shut up," Kate says. "It's okay to be honest with yourself. Every once in a while you look," Melinda says with a smile, still smiling smugly. "Look, it's easy. Just repeat after me. I wanted Barry to come with us to the surface. Come on, you can do it. I believe in you. I'm going to hit you." It says. "Is it me, or are you two getting along a little better than usual?" I say. "What are you talking about?" Kate says as she raises an eyebrow. "When have the two of us not been getting along? On the very first day that we began traveling together, for example," I say. "Well, that was ages ago," Melinda says. "I don't think we have even gotten into a single argument since the day when we defeated Talmac together, have we?" I see. "You're right," Kate says. "We have not." "If you two say so," I tell him. Anyway, so now that we got that settled, let's go to the overseer together," Melinda says. "I know my way around the city pretty well, so I think I may have a general idea of where we could find one of the green-eyed golem's head without getting caught by any of the guards." "You two are not planning to give up on this plan no matter what I say, are you?" I ask. "Obviously," Melinda says. "Fine," I say. How do we convince the teleporter guy to bring us to the surface?" "Then, no," Kate says as she places herself in front of me. "Barry, you can't come with us." Why not? I said, because you don't have your stat device. Kate said, you'll be defenseless. Well, technically, I do have my stat booster with me. I said, I take my device out of my pocket to show it to her for a few seconds before putting it back in. It's just that it's not really working right now. It's supposed to start working in a few hours or less. And even if it doesn't, I'm very the reckless. Remember, I'm sure I'll handle myself one way or the other. I think you're supposed to be working on being less reckless, Kate tells me. Yeah, true, but technically you were supposed to be working on trusting your friends more too, so I guess we're even, I say. Do you guys have room for one more, or are you done taking extra passengers? We suddenly see a blue text floating in front of us. We turn around, we see Layla is now slowly approaching us as well. Sure, you can come, more the merrier. Wait, how did you know where to find us? Have you been listening us the whole time? Yeah, how did she know where to find us? I got a glimpse of you heading into the tunnel in a hurry when I was following my father towards his workshop, so I figured that something must have gone wrong, Layla writes. I wasn't sure if I should go after you at first, but I eventually made up my mind and told my father that we'd need to schedule my stat booster maintenance for some other time, so I didn't catch up to you in time. You gotta take it that you already know what's going on then. I say, yeah, I kind of got that figured out the moment I sensed Kate and Melinda's presence in the tunnel, Layla writes. It's not like there could have been that many reasons for them to want to go outside in the first place. I'm sorry, Layla, Kate says. I didn't mean to take you away from your father after you've just been reunited with them. You don't have to worry about that, Layla writes. You never forced me to come here. I chose to be here myself. And besides, you're only taking a short trip, right? We'll be back right after we talk to the overseer. That would be the plan, yes, Monero says. But before we proceed, there is still one unresolved matter that we are going to have to deal with, Brainan. You can come out of hiding now. I'm sorry to say that your aura suppression skills are nowhere near good enough to fool me. And I was afraid that this might be the case. We hear Brainan's voice as dismisses his invisibility spell and slowly begins materializing out of thin air, some 50 feet away from our location. What are you doing here? Kate says as she frowns at him. Did the king of the underground send you to spy on us? No, it wasn't the king, Brainan says. Then who? I came here of my own accord, Brainan says. I wanted you all here because I wanted to join you. Look, you're aiming to speak to the overseer, right? Well, I'm the one who's interacted the most with him out of everyone in this place. I know how he thinks. There are many ways in which I can assist you if you decide to take me with you and help you find the green metal ball faster. I can also find a good enough excuse that will convince Barry to teleport us to the surface without making him suspicious. The only thing I ask in return is for you to let me be the first one to talk with the overseer. Then how do we know that you won't just leak our entire conversation to the overseer to the king when we get back? I won't tell the king anything, I swear, Brainan says. I know how things might be. Things might look from an outsider's perspective, but not all of us rebels are completely subservient to the king of the underground. Some of us still have our pride. I won't let the king walk all over me like he does with Peter and Albert every day. The king knows full well that it was very important for me to participate in this negotiation with the overseer, but he forgave me to go simply because he wanted to show me that he is the one in charge. If that's the way things are going to be, then I no longer feel the need to obey all of his orders. I will make my own decision based on what I think is right, even if it means risking my position and status in this underground society. It doesn't seem like he's lying, Melinda says. Not from the feel of his aura, at least. I agree, Layla writes. And if what he says is indeed true, then he wouldn't have any reason to tell the king about a meeting with the overseer, because that would be like going out of his way to notify him of his betrayal. Kate says, Brainan, she says, I can't say that I entirely trust you, but I admit that I'd rather have you coming with us than leaving you here, giving you an actual reason to want to rat us out of the king. If everyone else is also okay with it, let us move forward. I wouldn't want anyone else to catch up to us before we get to the teleporter room. Alright, let's move. I don't think we should tell Darren. Just in case they're using like a, we use a transceiver to tell Darren, and they have like transceiver tracking things or something. Alright, let's move. Brainan, there is a question that I forgot to ask you earlier. Kate says shortly after we begin making our way towards the teleporter room. If you were already planning to go behind the king's back to meet with the overseer by yourself, why didn't you go alone? Why do you prefer to join up with us? I don't typically go on alone missions, so if I suddenly asked to go out there by myself, I was afraid that it might seem a little suspicious. Brainan said, despite my looks, I'm not really much of a fighter. I like to carry the sword around with me, but I only use it when absolutely necessary. Usually I'm more of an illusion casting kind of guy with a bit of healing on the side. That's why my plan is to pretend that I'm taking you all outside in order to teach you the usual guard patrol route, so we can better cooperate in the future when we go to the mission together. You think the teleporter guy will buy that story? I say. I mean, Barry Brennan says he'll buy it. Don't worry, just let me do all the talking and we'll be fine.